Well, did you know in Microsoft Excel you can find insights, patterns, and trends in your data without having to use charts, being it pie chart, column charts, bar charts, watermarks, and what have you? How do we do that? That's what today's video is all about. Sit back and enjoy the ride. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button to support this channel, and always leave a comment behind to let me know what you think about today's video. Well, seeing is believing, right? Let's delve right into the action to see what today's video is all about. And so let's say you don't want to use charts to find the insights, the trend and patterns in your data. Excel have what we call the conditional formatting, and it is found under the home tab right under the styles group. Also here it is, let's hover around it. So what does it do? So it easily spot trends and patterns in your data using bars, colors, and icons to visually highlight important values. So this is what the conditional formatting does. So let's say we have this data we'll be using as an example today. And here we have a list of teams, their wins, their losses, their draws, and their goals scored, and also as well as their points. So let's say here in this data, we want to find the number of teams which haven't won more than 3 games. We can select these wins and now move to the conditional formatting. And here from this drop down list, you can find highlight cell rules. So here, greater than, less than, between. If you are to go to the top or bottom rules, here we have the top 10 items. We have the data bars, which gives you trends from ranging from the highest order through to the lowest order. The color scales, that's the same. We have the icon set. And here also you can format cells based on condition. So format all cells based on their values, format only cells that contain. Then you can use even a formula to determine which cells to format. So this is what the conditional formatting does. And so we want to select the teams who aren't winning many games. So we want the less than. And as you can see from this dialog box, it has already given us a number. It says format cells that are less than. And here we want the teams which haven't won more than 4 games. And so we will type in the 4. We want to give it a color code for easy identification. It has already given us a format color. We don't want that. We can change the color to any color we want, or we can even give ourselves a custom color. So let's say we want to give it a fill color of red, and let's change the font color for easy access or easy identification for us to see, and let's give it a font color of white. Let's click on OK. Let's click on OK here. Then the teams which aren't winning much, or the wins which are less than 4, will be highlighted for you. So these are insights you can get using the conditional formatting. And here also, let's also check the trends in the goals scored. Let's see the teams which are scoring many goals. So let's highlight the goals scored. Let's go to the conditional formatting again. Then here, let's use the icon set to find the trends in teams which are scoring more goals or teams which aren't scoring more goals. We can simply do that. As you can see, if you are to look through the trends, you can see that Man U, Arsenal, Manchester City are scoring more goals, whilst Chelsea are maintaining their goal trajectory. Then Tottenham, Liverpool are doing same also. So as per the highest value through to the very lowest value, it strikes the balance, then gives you an insight as to which teams are moving up and those that are having a constant goal scoring chart, then also the teams which aren't scoring many goals as we want. And also, let's have an insight into the teams which have many points to the teams which has less points. So we'll highlight or we'll select the cells again, then we'll move to the conditional formatting. And here, let's give it a data bar. So the data bar are the color data bar to represent the value. So let's say we want to give it a color of, let's say, a blue. So this is the trend that it will give you. So in the case that, let's say, this point of Manchester United changes to, let's say, 4 and hit enter, as you can see, the trend changes. Let's undo that. This is what the conditional formatting does. Is that all that the conditional formatting does? Of course not. And so here in this data, we have a list of sales personnel and the amount of sales they generated for a specific year. But then the year has ended, and as a manager, you want to find which sales personnel did well or which sales personnel met their targets for each and every quarter. So how do you do that? Rather than using charts or bar graph to determine all this, you can simply use the conditional formatting to do that. How then? So let's select this entire data. Then let's go to the conditional formatting. And here the insight we want to have is, if a sales personnel met the target, we want to use a color code to determine that in order to track the amount they made. the amount of sales they generated, and the very specific sales personnel who met that. So here we use a rule to do that. And what is the rule we are talking about here? So here, the rule we'll be talking about is we'll use a formula to determine that. Let's bring in the equal sign here in this dialog box. And the first thing we'll select will be the very first amount of the very first sales personnel. And since the data will be varying, or since the cell will be varying, let's not log them. Let's make it as relative as possible. Then we want it to equate it, or we want it to be if it is greater than or equal to this very target that was set for quarter one or for the quarters. And since also it will be varying per each quarter, let's not lock the column. Let's make the column as varying or relative as possible whilst the row remains a constant. So here we'll use the F4 key, or we hold the F4 key once to at least lock only the row whilst the column varies. And now we've done that. So what we are trying to do here is if they are to run through this data and reference it to this very amount, if it is greater than or equal to this amount, then it means the sales personnel met the target. So then let's give it a format color so as to be able to trace it as easy as possible. So let's give it a fill color of this light green here. Then let's give it a font color of C white to at least track it easily. Let's click on OK to see. Let's click on OK again. If you are to go through this data carefully, you can see that in quarter one, Paul Tutu, Bismarck Kofi, and now Samson Toku didn't meet the 3,000 cedis target we set for them. If you are to go to quarter two, only a few met this, and in quarter three, no one met the target of 9,000 at all. But I think this is too much of a target to be met. Let's try and reduce this target to, let's say, the 5,000 cedis, so that at least we can ease the pressure on them. So let's hit the enter key. And even with this 5,000, if you have to carefully look through this, you can find that not many met the target. But how about quarter four, with the target being 9,000? If you have to go through, you can see that only 3 personnel weren't able to meet the target. So this is what conditional formatting does, and this is what it helps to do. Well, you can go through, and even as you go through, you can find that you can even apply a conditional formatting on a date, even on duplicate values also. You can use a conditional formatting to trace them also. And also, if you want to give a color code for even those who weren't able to meet the target, you can do that. And note, you can even use a function in conditional formatting. If you would like to delve way deeper into conditional formatting, let me know in the comment section so that I can help out. I hope this video was helpful and I hope you enjoyed the ride. Well, if it was a bit confusing, let me know where the confusion started so that I can help you out. As always, as usual, this has been OB Learning Hub, and kindly hit the like and subscribe button to support this channel. And in our next video, we'll be learning all about tables in Microsoft Excel. Quite interesting, right? Looking forward to seeing you again, and thank you so much for your time.